going to make meatballs, and these are not your average meatballs with meat. These are actually fennel and tuna meatballs. If you like that aniseed flavour from the fennel and then tuna, this is such a fantastic dish to do at home. Now first you need one large bulb of fennel that I'm going to cut into 6 wedges. And I'll place it on a tray that's been lined with some baking paper. It's okay if it breaks up a bit. And now for some onion. 1 onion, again, that we're going to cut into 6 wedges. Now I'll pop this onto the tray and you can mix it up. These will be cooking in the same amount of time. Now a good glug of extra virgin olive oil just over the top. And then a good amount of salt over the top. And this goes into the oven for about 25 minutes or until all the vegetables are really soft and they start to become caramelised. The fennel has come out of the oven, it's cooked. See how caramelised it is? It's absolutely perfect. Now for the sauce, I need 3 of these onion wedges. Onions, when they've been caramelised, are so sweet, and this is going to be the basis of the red sauce. So just with my knife, I'm going to roughly chop them. Look how soft it is. Fantastic. And this can go into a medium pot along with 2 cloves of garlic that I'll bruise just with the back of the knife and then finely chop again. I love lots of garlic in this recipe. And we'll scrape the knife down and that can go in along with a few tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and we'll turn the heat on about a medium heat, also a pinch of salt. I'll let this begin to sizzle and then I'll add the passata. Now onto the polpette, the tuna polpette or the meatballs. We'll add the fennel straight into the food processor. This has cooled slightly. And our tuna, use a good quality tuna. This one has been responsibly fished. We want to drain it from the excess water. This one's not in oil, so water for this because I don't want it to be too greasy. And that can go in with our fennel. Traditionally, this recipe does not have tuna in it, but I always have some tuna on standby in my pantry for recipes like this. It not only bulks it out, but it also helps to hold the meatballs or the polpette together. All right, let's have a look at these onions and the garlic. Ooh, looking good. Smells good too. And we'll add the passata. Fabulous. Quick stir. We'll turn it down to a low heat. Lid can go on so there's no splatters, and this will cook for about 15 minutes. Now back over here to the polpettes, we'll add some toasted pine nuts, a generous handful of Parmesan cheese, and just reserve another handful for the garnish later on. Some breadcrumbs, the binding agent, fresh breadcrumbs if you can. And 1 egg. I'll crack the egg directly into the food processor. And some seasoning, so some salt and some freshly cracked pepper. Wonderful. Now the lid can go on and I'll blitz this until we have a rough paste. And just with a spatula, ensure that you just get in there and scrape down the side so it's evenly chopped. It's looking good. Smells delicious. Okay, mixture is fantastic. I'll take the blade out and I want to show you the texture of this so you know what you're looking for when you're making them at home. See how it's slightly sticky, not too wet, and it comes together to form the meatballs. If it is a little wet, just make sure you have some of the Parmesan and the breadcrumbs. You can add some more to it. Another trick when you're forming these meatballs is to have some water on standby. I'm going to use the same tray that I cooked the fennel and the onion on. So wet your hands first, and then we'll grab a small amount think of a walnut-sized meatball is what we're looking for, and then form a perfect sphere, just like that. First one done. Now I'll place that back onto the tray. I'm going to continue making these, drizzle over some olive oil, and they go back into the oven for about 25 minutes. The polpette has come out of the oven. You can see they've firmed up, but they're still quite soft in the centre. Now this is where you need to be quite gentle because you need to fold these through our rich tomato sauce. See how this is thick and rich? It's only been cooking for 15 minutes, but you do want to cook it down so it does have that intense tomato flavour. So with my tongs, I'll carefully place them in the sauce, and then instead of folding this through with a spoon, I'm just going to agitate the pot just so we don't break them up. You could absolutely serve this with pasta if you like. The kids will love it like that. Or keep it super simple and serve it as is with some extra parmesan and some crusty bread. So now I'll carefully just agitate that and see how it's just getting coated in the red sauce. Smells good. Now to serve, I'll place a few on the plate. If you didn't watch this, you would assume that these are made out of pork and veal, but you'd be incorrect because these are a really good option if you want a night off red meat. Tuna, fennel, very light, some Parmesan cheese over the top. And I did reserve the fennel fronds because they're so pretty. So we'll just pick them straight over the top. And some crusty bread. Grab a knife and I'll just cut that in half. And the crusty bread on the side. Who would have thought? Fennel and tuna made into meatballs. A fantastic alternative if you want a break from red meat. Can I have a taste? You are going to love these. If you love fennel, if you love canned tuna, this is the one for you.